So I think our end on Wednesday night, when they see Trent on that pitch, I think he'll get the full support. I really, really do. You know, regardless of all the toxicity you see on social media and stuff, we know that's like 90% nonsense. You know, in the ground, I think on Wednesday night, that, you know, the best thing that'll come out of it, that he will get the support in the away end. You know, I'm 100% confident of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. I think my take on the Trent stuff, and I'm similar to you, Sean. I'm in a place where I didn't really hear that much of it. It didn't feel too toxic in kind of in the cop where I was in 207. Yes, there was moans and groans, but it didn't spill out like it maybe did in other areas. And I've listened to some of the post-match stuff where it did sound a little bit uncalled for. And that kind of stuff makes you a little bit uncomfortable. But I think my thing on him would be, I mean, I love him as a player. But I think sometimes it's fine and fair to kind of call these things out when you see them kind of developing on the pitch. And I didn't enjoy his performance at all on the weekend. And it's not because he played bad, because, listen, I've been going to Anfield for 40 years. I've seen loads of people play bad. It just happens, and you can kind of park that and forget about it. But I genuinely thought there was times that you could level it at him, that he was just so far away from applying himself in the right manner in a game of that magnitude. There was a lack of desire in certain moments. There was a lack of wanting to put himself in certain situations at the right times. And that's borderline unacceptable for any player. But for a lad who's vice captain and a local lad, it didn't sit well with me at all. But football it's this thing where you get to play again. You get to have another game straight away. You get to put it right almost immediately. And I think on Trent, I think overall this season, he's been far better defensively than he has been in lots of other seasons.
Definitely.
But there's this thing where sometimes he just doesn't help himself. You know, you can't turn up to a Man United game and expect to coast through at 60, 70% and that your mates next to you will do the run for you. He's not fucking Mo Salah. He's a brilliant footballer. He's a supreme talent. But he's the right back. And he's got to back up everything he's got. And he's got lots. But he's got to back it all up with work ethic and desire and commitment. And it has to be every game. And I don't think the contract situation affected his performance that much, because I've seen that performance before. I've seen him play exactly like that. Yeah. And I've not liked it then, and I didn't like it on Sunday. But the thing is, you can often let him get away with it to an extent, if that's the right word, because he is so good on the ball. We are talking about an unbelievable footballer. Liverpool's way home here, by the way. It's not to bench him. It's not to stick him in the stands. For fuck's sake, we're paying him. He's one of our best players. It's to get his head right and get him playing and get him affecting football matches in a positive way. Because when he does, there's very few who can hold a candle to him. That's how good he is. But he's got to sort that bit of his game. It's not acceptable to be asking others to do your running, to be ambling back, to be knocking balls off and then thinking, I've not got to chase that back. Someone else will do it. No, lad. That's your fucking job. You need to put it in as well. And what I saw for the first goal, I'll say it, I thought it was a disgrace. I thought it was a disgrace, that first goal. I've watched that back and I'm sitting there thinking, that should never fucking happen. I don't care who you are, how many games you got under your belt. That does not fucking happen on anyone's watch. And I tell you right now, the manager protected him after the game. I bet you he's fucking had more than a word with him post-match. He did the right thing, managers protect players, but everything you needed to know was in Virgil van Dijk's face. He told you everything, what was acceptable and what wasn't, and what we saw wasn't. But like I said before, you get a chance to put it right. And I agree with you. People will get behind him because that's the way you get the best version out of him now, to get behind him. And I hope he does play on Tuesday, because that's his chance to then probably go and put in a man of the match performance. He's more than capable of doing that. On the back of that, he could end up being the best player on the park on Wednesday night. We'll have to wait and see.